from the police.
Yeah, don't know what it's about. But...
Listen, for those who don't know, Liam Fitzgerald's our journalist, sports journalist at 3YB, and part of our team on This Is Tomorrow Morning, a letter from the Victorian Police to Bob Guinea. I'll read it out. Letter from the Federal Police Crime and Drug Squad to Bob Guinea, President of the Hampden Football Netball League. Dear Bob, it has come to our attention that your former CEO, Steve Soulsby, has come under scrutiny for taking performance-enhancing drugs. The investigation took place once his guns burst through his shirt on Grand Final Day 2 years ago. Also under investigation is 3YB football commentator Matt Stewart. He's under suspicion for using horse paste to play in the 2005 Premiership team with Russell's Creek. I actually did see him take that. It was in a little tube, and he just sort of squirted it down. He had a hammy. He played. Didn't get out of the goal square, but anyway. So, Matty Stewart, you've also been seen talking to underworld figures at the local race meetings. So that's under investigation as well. So to kick off tonight and tell you a little bit more about our Hampden League Live coverage, I'd like to introduce the director of 3YB Hampden League Live. We just gave him that title about 10 minutes ago. Director of 3YB Hampden League Live, Matty Stewart.
What a title. I tell you what, the only thing I'm pissed off about that horse pace is they told me it'll help me downstairs. It hasn't grown me one little inch. Absolutely shattered. But it is a true story. And Jeremy Gleeson still has nightmares about that game, right, Jez? Look, it is. It's an exciting time for local football and netball. And we are absolutely pumped to be able to give this service and offer this service next year. As a station, we're going to be live from 12 o'clock on Saturdays, so there'll be no more Saturday mornings. The racing show will be still on a Saturday morning, but we'll be live from 12 o'clock till 6 o'clock, so providing a comprehensive coverage of all the day sport and everything that's going on. We're going to be doing around the ground crosses everywhere. The new equipment that Hito's lashed out and bought is absolutely A1. He spent $10K on the new equipment. I think Rolly Patterson was shattered. Rolly only a multi-millionaire Rolly, but 10 grand probably hurt the great man. But it's going to be exciting. You know, we're going to have on-ground interviews, walking off at quarter time. In the rooms after the game. It is going to be a total, full, comprehensive coverage. And we're not going to forget about our netball partners as well, which make up the league and are certainly a massive part of the Hampden Football Netball League. Without further ado, we'd like to welcome up on stage our crew and our exciting team, and they're all pumped, and we've had a few photos and that tonight to start promoting what is going to be an exciting time. And we'll kick off with my little cohort, Trent Hill. Hello, everyone's sitting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to launch AFL Live for season 2013. Of course, they bring a magnificent coverage to football right across this region and all the Ace Radio networks. And it's great to have Scotty Cummings, Craig Huchison and Rex Hunt here tonight to launch AFL Live 2013.
There's nothing like AFL Live.
Here they go now, right away. Gunston's enjoying
buddy, Mark.
to Franklin. Shut the gate, buddy! Shut the gate!
Valentine kicked the goal! Valentine kicked the goal! And just when you thought it was safe to come out...
Watson had his back turned. They're mucking around with it. Grundy dispossessed. Watson, Myers, favoured left foot. Stacks at it. Oh, he got it!
I think it was the siren. Collingwood have won one of the great contests of our broadcast.
Morris has a bounce. He dodges. He leads. He has another bounce. He's run a long way. He's goal. And it's one of the goals of the year. Does it get any better than that? And on AFL now.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Hutchie and his Croc Media team at AFL Live. Now we're going to kick off tonight with a big man, of course. He played with the Essendon Football Club, Port Adelaide, West Coast and also Collingwood, a total of 128 games. He kicked 349 goals. The Coleman Medal, back in 1999, he kicked 14 for West Coast against Adelaide in one match in 2000. He's been long-ribbed about his size. He's recently shed a fair bit of weight for Jenny Craig, Jenny for men, of course. He's had plenty to say in recent times too about the AFL's drugs policy, and he's got some great stories of his time at the Essendon Football Club under coach Kevin Sheedy. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Scotty Cummings. Scotty, you are looking absolutely magnificent, mate.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that.
How much have you lost?
Only 34 kilos. It's not much. It's just half a jockey. I was half a Johnny here. Great man. Yeah. No, so I had a fair amount to shed, just quietly. So and I had a good time getting to that. But best thing I've ever done in my life, and it was to drop that off and in all seriousness, Jenny Craig just been superb to me. So thanks for putting the pies and sausage rolls on the table in front of me. Appreciated that. Doesn't get any fucking easier each day, but anyway. I've ordered some sandwiches to go home with tonight, so I won't have any of those.
Are you back to your playing weight, mate, or are you actually...
I'm a couple over now. I went to Warrnambool Dunes at the weekend, and with the boys' golf weekend, and that sort of just tipped me back out of me playing weight. So, but I'm hovering around there now. Yeah. So it's been a really, really good run, and I think when I was down here last year, I was about halfway through my original Jenny Craig stint. I think I'd lost about 17 kilos, and I look back at those photos now and go, "Geez, I was fat."
Yeah.
And that was halfway through, but feeling awesome, mate. So feeling really, really good. Still couldn't run out of sight in a dark night, but I'm feeling good anyway.
Mate, let's go back to your playing days. Of course, 4 clubs, which not a lot of players do these days.
No, a lot of them are better than me, so they get to stay at one club. But I wouldn't change a thing on that. I've been blessed to play for 4 clubs.
Yeah, and obviously got a lot of friends, mate, and a lot of mates made out of football in all those clubs?
Around the country. So past player functions are very hard. I can't go to all of them. There's a lot of them during the year, so... But I've got great mates back in Perth and here in Melbourne and in Adelaide as well. So, like I said, I wouldn't change anything, but it's happened along the way because I'm really blessed to play for 4 really, really good football clubs.
Your favourite, mate? I'm going to put you on the spot. What's your favourite club you've played at? I
barrack for Collingwood, purely for the fact that they're the only ones that didn't sack me. So. They let me retire along the way, so they let me retire with dignity. But and they've been so good to me, so good to me. And as soon as I retired, I worked there for 3 years after I finished playing, and I still do work for them now. Mick Moldhouse, I don't know where I'd be without Mick. Kills me to see him in those colours now. Kills me. And the worst thing is, he's so good. They're going to be good. It shits me even more. And Eddie Maguire's, no one's done more for me than Eddie. And I love Collingwood. It makes people have a bit of trouble understanding that I played 5 games for them and kicked 6 goals. 5 of them came in one game. But, you're in trouble. This is when I knew that my career was about to just sort of taper off. It was Anzac Day 2002, Collingwood. Mick came up to me before the game and I was ready to go. Anzac Day, I'd played 1 for Essendon and didn't get much of a run, and I said, here we go, you beauty, round 5, my new club, Anzac Day, I'd kill for Mick, I'd do anything you want. He calls me in, big job, big day, son. I'm going, absolutely, I am ready to go, I am good. This is when you know your career is almost at the end. I want you just to take Dustin Fletcher as far away from the ball as you can. I said, that sounds to me, Mick, as if you want me to be a decoy. I don't understand. He goes, yeah, that mate would be massive. Just take him away from the play. She right, I better do that well. And I took him away from the play, and I had one handball for the day. It went out of bounds. So technically it was a clanger, and I was 0% efficiency. And that's when you sort of know, here we go. I reckon my time could be just about finished.
Now it's time to move on to the number one sports breaker in the game. He began his journalism career way back in 1994 with the Herald Sun. He was then poached to the Big Sports Breakfast on 927 way back in 1996. He then moved across as chief football reporter at Channel 10 in 1997 and began working at Triple M. In 1999, Huchison moved to Channel 7 where he was chief football reporter for 8 years. He won numerous Media Association awards over a long journey. He is the number one sports breaker in the business. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Craig Huchison.
Thanks, Matty. Good evening, everyone. Great to be here. And while we're at it, we might as well keep moving, hey, because the number one broadcaster in the country is here. A man who's called football for 35 years, number one voice in the nation, heard on 3YB and Off the Hook on Saturday mornings, and one of the greatest broadcasters in the history of the game, a premiership star too. The great Rex Hunt's with us, ladies and gentlemen. Would you welcome him to the stage?
Yeah, Rexy.
I'll tell you what's just happened, Matty.
Is that what happened with you?
Either I spoke too long or he reckons you're a shit MC. I'm not sure what's just happened.
No, you spoke very well, Scotty. In the meantime,
I'm feeling like, Scotty, seriously, that's the conversation that Mick Mulderhouse had with you as the decoy.
No, Scotty, you spoke very well. We're halfway through the first quarter of the first round at the Hampton Live game, and
Eddie Maguire just rang me in Channel 9 who is struggling at bringing back This Is Your Life, and the first one is Scott Cummings next Sunday night.
Fantastic. And is there anyone...
Christ.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Hampton. Wonderful initiative from Bob and the team in Hedo for Hampton Live coming back this year on 3YB and the AFL Live on Coast FM. So you've got the best AFL and local footy coverage in Australia in Warrnambool. Is there anyone in the room not commentating in the team, by the way, in Hampton? Show us a hand if you can. Fantastic. Do they got enough broadcasters?
They certainly have, and one thing Scotty didn't mention about his weight loss. Everyone knows Levy's Beach here, which is magnificent. And May and June, the local right whale migration goes past there. And on the 3rd of May this year, Scotty had gone down just to take a little bit of late autumn sun, and 15 greenies and 2 bulldozers tried to push him back into the Southern Ocean.
Well, he had better luck than me, Scotty, because I went on the same Ginny Craig program and I lost $400 in 6 weeks. So,
and he picked himself up. He was on the nude beach down there at Narrawong, and he walked to Portland before he realised he had a small Vietnamese boat person wedged between the cheeks of his arse.
How's your summer been, Rex, anyway?
Well, I started off slowly, then I completely slackened off. But I tell you what, you're in all sorts of trouble when you walk into the Helsinki International Airport. Now, if you want to know how good Warrnambool is, you want to walk in with your missus to the Helsinki International Airport, and 2 Russians are looking at you as if you're the mafia. And my wife says, is there anything you'd like to tell me that might be on the front page of the Herald Sun? I said, no. So a bloke comes up, he said, "G'day." I said, "How are you?" He said, "We are Russians." I said, "Oh, really?" They look like the movie. He said, "My name is Helmut." I said, "Well, I don't want to know about your personal life, mate." He said, "This is my cousin Vladimir." He said, "Didn't you used to be Rex Hunt?" So that was my summer. What was the question? That went down well, didn't it? Yeah. My summer has been magnificent because we've got water and there's plenty of fish, and that's what it's all about. And I've had some great fishing. And earlier on this year, I had some marvellous fishing in the Hopkins River, which has got a great run of brown trout in it. And a lot of them are moved into the Mount Emu Creek now, and they're actually feeding on a chironomid, which is a nymphal stage of the mosquito. And you know what a nymphal stage is because you spent half your life at New York, but it's not that one, all right?
And drugs is a talking point in football at the moment, so we're back into it nice and early. The earliest we've seen the AFL landscape move now. One player, one club. Everyone wants to know who he is for performance-enhancing drugs. I think we can safely rule out Richmond, Matty, given their performances in previous years.
That's great. I'll cut it out.
If someone at Richmond was taking performance-enhancing drugs, they were taking a bad dose.
Yeah, they're not working. 1-2, we're going to go, yes, get your hamburgers at Subway. Give Kermans the ass because they're no fucking good. Let's go down there. Bang, bang, bang. Thank you. And we're welcome back, and here's Craig Huchison. This is 3YB Coast FM football right across this marvellous nation.
Are you going to be able to use that saying this year, higher than Joe Cocker, given
No,
everything that's
I'm going to
going
pull myself back a bit. Don't read anything into that, Ed, but I'm going to pull myself back a bit. I'm just going to, I might just get back to what the ABC was, about 15 years ago, where Huchison has got the ball and he hand-passed across to Cummings and gets it on to Digger, and oh goodness gracious me, here comes Smith, and Smith to Jones, and my goodness gracious me, I think it's a goal on the Mocha-Pan scoreboard.
Hutchie.
Instead of turning the bloody clock back at Kennedy Park in 1992, and the ball's out of the centre. Here it comes, Stoneham to Hughes. Hughes gets a hand pass to Besto. Besto onto Brownless. Brownless kicks it long. On the dairy farm down there with the Lowrys, and they'd be tooting the thing at half time, and they had Harry Beitzel on, with the main game and all. It's what it's all about. Sorry, Ben?
That was 3CS, that was the opposition.
Oh, was it? Oh, shit.
Go Rex, we're really excited about the AFL Live season ahead. Fantastic coverage on 3YB. Our product, AFL Live, is made just for regional areas, so we're passionate about people in the country, just like Rex is, who's fished every watering hole in regional Australia. Sandy Roberts, who's a Gippsland boy who still lives on a farm. Billy Brownless, who owns every pub in regional Victoria. Shane Crawford, who's a country boy. All very passionate broadcast team about regional areas. This year's never been better. 3YB footy is sensational. Coast FM to take a game on Saturday afternoon, broaden the audience down the coast, and the FMs as well to hear the great dulcet tones of Rex. And then a fantastic Hampden League live call on a Saturday afternoon. For all the local businesses and partners and clients in the room, for the way you've supported three of the broader stations down here. This is a wonderful radio market, and that's why all your businesses are growing and the town's growing, because you're all part of it. So, Hito, not pissing your pocket, mate. You do a fantastic job, you and your team. Congratulations on all you've done and for being brave enough to put on a brilliant call. You can see he's investing in it. He's not putting out a 2 or 3 man team. He's got half the town on the broadcast. And it'll be fantastic. And we hope you flick back and forth between the local footy and our AFL Live broadcast on Coast FM. Then we'll get you back at night time. It's going to be a fantastic year. Best broadcast ever. The best broadcaster in Australia. Would you give him a round of applause for coming all the way to Warrnambool?
I just think Pete... I spoke to Pete earlier on. He still has a couple of positions on the commentary.
YB.
Promises to be a great season in 2013. These guys have put their time to come down tonight and put on a fantastic little show. Hito, do you want to get up and say a few words, mate, just to wrap it up? You're happy, you're done? Rexy, don't go anywhere, mate. Last raffle, which is 4 tickets to the footy show this year, which is pretty exciting.
Free night for 2 with Scott Cummings.
Other than that, hope you've enjoyed the night and look forward to a big 2013.